But appreciate everybody with the super chats. Y'all got one more topic in you? I want to hit this real quick if that's all right with y'all.
Yes,
all right, we'll just go 10, 15 minutes on it. I thought this was interesting. And listen, this is no surprise. If you follow the show, we've been talking about Romeo Doubs. He's probably gone, right? And just I was sitting there earlier, had a fire going. We were just kind of hanging out with the dogs, and I noticed a bunch of Instagrams popping up from players. I follow all the players on Instagram. I'm not a big IG guy. Imagine that Papal Bailey doesn't get on IG much, right? But is that how the kids say it, Emilio? They call it IG. What do they call it? The gram? What do they call it?
Yeah, you got them both, IG and the gram. I'd say you can call them both that.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate the approval. So I noticed a bunch of players popping up on the top, and I clicked on them, and all of them, it was the same theme, right? So I just put this together, kind of threw a few of them together and put it on a Patreon. And this is obviously Romeo Doubs. We've talked about Dobby, and his last game in Green Bay's probably been played, unless, of course, the market ain't there that we are kind of expecting it to be for him. Maybe you can get him back at a decent price that makes sense for him to stay in Green Bay. But nonetheless, here they are, all right? So the first one came out from Romeo Doubs that I noticed. And it was, I just tweeted it back out, kind of screenshot it. Romeo Doubs on IG, quote, "God, I ask that you guide my steps moving forward." And he showed a shot of him and Bo Melton and Jaden Reed in the locker room together, right? So obviously just kind of like, hey, God, guide me as I hit free agency is the way I'm taking this. Like, make sure I make the right decision, not only for my family, but for my career, right? And it is a tough decision, especially somebody who's not like an upper echelon receiver, but he should get decent money. So you got to ask yourself, okay, is it worth it for me to take $3 million more average annual to go play in Cali, where the taxes are much higher, right? Or stay in Green Bay for a little less, knowing my family's rooted here? That can be something that comes into play as well, right? So another one that went out, he tweeted or he Instagrammed this out. This is a picture. Samori Torres in this picture too. So you got Jaden Reed, Malik Heath, you got Dontayvion Wicks, Samori Torres in there, Christian Watson,
Bird.
Yeah, that right. Yeah, Bird with Jaden Reed. You've got Vrabel over there, Jason Vrabel, the wide receiver coach. Bet you can't pick out which one he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the little short white dude on the left there that ain't got no athletic ability. I guarantee it, right? So he tweeted that out, or I'm sorry, Instagrammed that out. And I just said Romeo Doubs posted an old picture of Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Wicks, and the boys on the IG account. Makes you wonder if it's coming to an end in Green Bay as he's set to hit free agency soon. And then, of course, Christian Watson put an IG post out. And this one kind of go, oh, wait a minute, maybe I'm reading this wrong. But I say Christian Watson shared this image on IG with Packers teammate Romeo Doubs, along with the fingers crossed emoji. Is there a chance Doubs and the Packers work out a contract? Like, that was, to me, that was Christian telling Dobby, like, man, if there's any way, like, let's get you back. Or maybe that also, correct me if I'm wrong, Emilio, that might mean, hey, we're thick as thieves, like we're boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sorry,
Always
sorry.
got his boys back, right? You know,
Sorry, Dobby, for my Caucasian this series, man. I don't know exactly what that emoji means from Christian, but what'd you say, Emilio?
No, I think that you're spot on. You know, possibility that he could come back, and you know, we're always going to be ride or die. They came in together, right? Yeah. So I mean,
we've been talking about this since they were drafted, right?
Yeah.
That the day may come where it's one or the other, and we got Scoot on that patchwork deal, right?
No.
So Scoot's we're gonna be, you know, having this conversation again pretty soon about Christian Watson. So I don't know. I think you're right, though. It'd be Rome agreeing to take less money, right? He's going to get more money elsewhere in the market.
I think so, you know, and we don't know what the fair market value is going to be for him. Spot Track thinks it's somewhere around $12 million average annual value. I got to be honest with you, man. I would be okay with that. Now, hear me out. People go, how can we afford that? Guys, you can afford it. For God's sakes, it's 2026. We know how the salary cap doom and gloomers talk until it's time to get under the cap. All of a sudden, everybody's under the cap, and it ain't a big issue. And then the same time the next year, oh, my God, what are we going to do? If you want a player, you can sign him. A $12 million deal, the first year the cap hit for that deal, probably going to be somewhere between $6 to $8 million against the cap. Is Romeo Doubs worth $6 to $8 million against the cap? I think he is, because there's receivers like Christian Kirk getting paid bank, right? So if you want him, it's just like Matt LaFleur. If you want the player, what Ted Thompson say back in the day when he wanted to trade for, he wanted to trade up to get Clay Matthews. You guys remember that? And they said, they literally said to him, I can't remember who it was, a GM or whatever, you know, they were talking about, well, it's going to take this and that to get drafted. I don't care. I want the player. That's what Ted said. When the decision's made, that dude's a vital part of your organization. You do what you got to do to get him in here, right? As long as it's within reason of the right price. So if I had to put money on it, I would say Dobby's not going to be back. That'd be my guess. But at $12 million per, Yeah, a 3-year deal that you can get out of in 2. I kind of feel like he could probably get a little more security than that on the market, but we'll see, especially the way he went out with a bang in that playoff game. And then, of course, Matthew Golden. Tim, here's a guy that's a rookie receiver. He hasn't known Doubs that long, and this is the kind of impact he had on his life. You've seen he put out an IG and tagged Romeo in it, them standing together on the practice squad. I think we're realizing real quick just how much Romeo Doubs means to this receiving corps, man. There's a lot of respect in that room for Romeo.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. And I think in the fan base too, you know. I mean, I'll speak for myself, but I've always been a Romeo Doubs fan. A1 since day one. Very, very reliable target, you know, on those third down looks. I mean, how many times have we seen Rome bail us out on a 3rd and 10 or, you know, 3rd and long play with just great hands? And, you know, I think he's a little bit underrated as a route runner. I think, you know, he's not the fastest guy in the field, but he runs clean routes and he has good hands. And, you know, his teammates love him. He is a leader in that receiver room for sure. But that is a very, very crowded wide receiver room here in Green Bay. So it would not surprise me if they let him test the market.
Yeah. And then Coach Lynn says his relationship with Love on the field is worth his weight in gold. That's the thing, too, is like that trust, Emilio. We seen it took Aaron Rodgers forever to build trust in certain receivers, right? He's got that in Rome for sure.
I remember the Rodgers and the other 87 relationship, right? I mean, you think of Jordan in Rome, I think of, you know, AR-12 and Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, no, and that's it, because that was my thing always with Doubs is like, dude, that connection they have is unbelievable. Like, he can just look at him. It was, you know, the Tay and Rodgers connection, something like that, where you can lean on him on a speed out on 3rd down and he'll catch it, right? You know how high off the ground he needs it to be, pluck it out of the air and get that 1st down. But you know, just the way it looks, man, I appreciate Doubs. He's probably going to get paid. I think he probably closes. I mean, the way Malik's probably closing in on 40, I think Doubs could close in on 20 and get his money somewhere. I feel like, you know, maybe you look, Carolina might want another receiver that you can go opposite of Tet. You get a guy with hands that you got speed and height over there. You got somebody with a possession. You think of all these options these teams have. I want him to, you know, go get that money, man. He's made it, coming with 4th round pick, right? So you deserve it.
Got a young family. It's just it's just like Malik. Malik deserves all the money he can get, you know, and it's going to be exciting to root for these players in other places as long as they're not playing the Packers, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Watch them both go down to Miami, get that state income tax free type money down there in Florida.
I would tell you this. If the Packers just decided to cut Matt LaFleur outright, I guarantee you John Eric Sullivan would be the first one knocking on that damn door. And imagine Matt LaFleur, Malik Willis, and Romeo Doubs in Miami just to kind of start the foundation down there. That would be absolutely wild for sure. United Bates says that's a great point, Coach, talking about Coach Lynn's comment there. Like what 2-0 for this says, Jordan's Devontae is Romeo, and you can't force the connection they have. Can't just make that be golden. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Man, there was a spirited debate tonight on ESPN Milwaukee between Jason Wilde and one of the hosts. I don't know those hosts that well. I don't watch the show very often, but they kind of got into it over the whole Matthew Golden thing because, how do I say this without being mean and disrespectful? They think that Matthew Golden was underutilized and misused, right? And Wilde responded with, well, how can you say that? He was second on the team in snaps and at the receiver position. Like, what do you mean? Well, it's how he was used. But how? But they couldn't give a detailed answer, which is 90% of the people. And then I love what Wilde says. So I think we need to go back and look at the targets. You may be right. I may go back and go, wow, they didn't use him right. I tell you what they're going to find on the targets. They're going to find deep shots that didn't connect. They're going to find times, and here's what Wilde pointed out, and this isn't a shot at Matthew Golden. He's a young receiver. This is why maybe sometimes you don't spend first-round picks on receivers, because there's that learning curve coming into the league, right? And maybe you can just get an offensive lineman, go out there and block somebody, or an edge rusher, just go rush the freaking quarterback, right? That type of thing. But he said, you remember earlier in the year, Jordan Love made a statement. He made a comment that, when Matthew Golden turned it on, he said, he's come a long way, running the right routes, running it at the right depth, attention to detail on the routes. That by default tells you what the problem was with Matthew Golden. Timeout. When we were watching tape, we talked about it all year. Golden's going to be a star, man. He's got a boatload of talent. But right here, he broke that route off and ran it right into another guy's route. That's on Golden there. We found that multiple times throughout the year. So again, if they truly, I think what I'm going to do is if I get to time, I'm going to go and screen record all of his targets and send it to Wildy and just say, here, I did the legwork for you. Cause he was talking about thinking about doing that. And if anybody else wants to do it, do it. Get in touch with him on Twitter, say, hey, here's the targets. Cause it would be a fascinating study. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out kind of in the wash, like a push, that both sides had a good point. Maybe they could have utilized them a little bit more, but it's not as bad as they thought. But nonetheless, it's going to take time to make that with Golden is what 2-0 for this is saying, obviously. So, and again, I think Golden showed a lot. I think he's going to be a star. I really do. But you just can't force that stuff. And then, of course, Tucker Kraft, I think was the final one. He actually sent an IG post out as well and just showed just a picture of him and Dobby on the field together. So, obviously, man, Romeo Doubs means a lot to this receiving core and even the tight end room. It's going to suck if we have to let him go, but that's part of the business, man. Go get your money, Rome. Go get your money. And if they lowball you on the market, come on home.
Come on back. Yep.
Back home, buddy. So the sound bot of him with his sunglasses on and saying that Tucker Kraft's in a better place will be forever one of my favorite pro. And then he realized what he was saying. Like, it's like he realized in a moment, like, okay, it's like he realized, oh, no, he ain't dead. Next question. Yeah. It was awesome. Absolutely.
My favorite was the interview on when he had that great grab. I think it was in the Steelers game. And they were like, Rome, can you tell us about that grab you made? You know, tell us about that play. And Rome says,
I just caught the ball.
Tim, he is unapologetically himself, right?
I love it.
And they said from day one, he's a different kind of cat. Bro, where did he grow up? I can't remember exactly, but it's somewhere.
L.A., I think.
L.A., wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Florida, L.A. It's tell him what that dude's seen as a kid growing up, right? Yep. And then you make it, you work your way out, and you were actually working out. He was working out with Jordan Love in the offseason before they even got to the NFL because they had the same coach, right? And they were like the same, what am I trying to say? Not coach, but I think it was Armed and Dangerous he was working with, right? So they were doing stuff behind the scenes, and that's how they kind of created that chemistry together. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll be back, but I think it's highly, highly unlikely. And we've talked about it. If you watch this show this year, we've talked about it throughout the year, man. When you model out the roster, which we like to do throughout the season, occasionally go, okay, who's going to be the receivers of the future? You could kind of see Rome's probably going to be the odd man out, most likely, right? Because you've got Matthew Golden looking to step into that boundary X position, and you guys talked about him playing maybe opposite of Tet McMillan or something like that. That would be perfect because what you're doing is, if somebody like Tet or, Puka Nacua or someone, if they're drawing bracket coverage to one side, on the field side, the big side of the field, and then all of a sudden you've got Romeo Doubs working in the phone booth at the boundary X, man, those one-on-ones can really, really create opportunities, especially for a quarterback like an Aaron Rodgers, somebody who plays like that, where they could just throw quick release darts underneath, RPO game the whole 9 yards. So.
Yep. Yeah. And that's Rome's game all day, right? He's got that big catch radius, and he's great in those one-on-ones.
Yeah, absolutely. United Bates says, seems like players are maybe posting these to speak to front office saying, please keep him if you can. I agree, Bates. The problem with that, Goody does not care. There's one thing we've learned. The first thing he did was he came in and didn't even offer Jordy Nelson. No, he offered Jordy Nelson a minimum contract. Minimum.
Yeah, that's why Jordy became a Raider.
Yep. And here's the thing. We found out, I think it was Wildy talking about it one day on his show, said, I think it is, you fact check me on that. I don't know how you can, but somebody said on a program that it was actually his teammates that came back to Jordy because he was going to accept it. And they said, no, dude, don't let them do that to you. You need to stand your ground and try to get more money. He stood his ground and they said, bye. So he ended up having to go play for the Raiders. Now, was that the right move? I think it was the right move for the Packers because Jordy didn't do anything after that. But like Aaron said, you think he wouldn't have had a better year with me and the chemistry we had? That's a great point too. Yeah. So, yeah. But
we could bring up the Devontae Adams contract talks too, right? It was too little and then too late, and
Yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves, Tim, is the portion of the fan base that pretend like Devontae refused to sign here. He took more money elsewhere. That was not the case.
That's not true at all. That's not the case.
They lowballed the hell out of him, disrespected him, and he said, okay, what they said was, you're going to have to play out the final year of your contract. And Tay on that interview said, after everything I've done, you're going to tell me you need to see it for one more year? No, I don't want to negotiate. So when they let him out as it got to the point where he was like, no, I don't want a contract, they gave him an offer bigger than what the Raiders gave him. And he said, no, it ain't about the money.
He had already bought a crib out in Vegas already. He was halfway.
He already had, come on, Tim. He already had the Taco Bell deal. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I know people piled on, well, look at what he did with Vegas.
There it is, Emilio.
This guy right here. Look at what he did in Vegas. That was the right move, right? Well, look at what he did in New York. He didn't do anything. Did you see what he did this year? I think he led the league in touchdowns, I believe, amongst wide receivers. So Tay still got it to a certain extent. I was hoping they bring him back last year, I think it was. I thought that would be interesting. But, again, I think it's one of those situations that whether you love him or hate him, Goody rubs some people the wrong way, you know. And he's gangster Goot, like Tim said.
Yep.
He makes a decision, that's it, and we're not even going to talk about it. You know what I mean? So
straps that do-rag on extra tight when he's in negotiations, you know?
I had a conversation earlier today with somebody on Twitter, Steve on Twitter, and we're good buddies. We comment back and forth, and it got a little bit heated. I took his text the wrong way. Surprise, this guy took something the wrong way, right? That never happens. But he made a comment about LaFleur's playoff record and this and that, and I said, but we're not going to hold Goody to the same standard? And he kind of changed the subject a little. I mean, no, we're not done talking about this. You realize that the only year that Brian Gutekunst didn't have Matt LaFleur as his head coach, he didn't even make the playoffs. He only won 6 games.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Right? I think I said that right. So you know what I'm saying? Like, what has Goody done without Matt LaFleur? Right? It goes both ways. If you looked at their record overall, well, that's not just everything for a GM. Okay, cool. Let's count up the All-Pros. We did that the other day. Ted Thomas smokes Goody's ass in All-Pros drafted. What else we want to talk about, you know? So it is what it is. But
I like what Ron says. A GM can't be everyone's best friend.
You can't be anyone's best friend.
That's right.
Right, Ron? Yeah, that's a great point, man. And again, this ain't the pile on Goody. I just want that same energy towards everybody. Same thing with Hafley. To pretend like Hafley's perfect is just silly. You know, to throw it all at the floor of at the feet of LaFleur in that Chicago game when he dropped 27 on them, and the defense crapped the bed in the fourth quarter, and we're not even. It's like, well, what about Hafley? La 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 la. Okay, your mind's made up. Got it. You know. Again, it was a loud minority that just wanted him gone, wanted LaFleur gone. So I will end it with this: Lion and the Lamb. Love the name, by the way. I don't think LaFleur is going anywhere. We don't either, right? Round the horn one last time. Do you think LaFleur is going to be the head coach in Green Bay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Tupac LaFleur is still your coach.
He's going to get a couple more long darts.
I was going to say.
Yeah, we're going to add a couple more once we get this deal done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Maybe a teardrop tattoo.
And a teardrop. If for every.
What about a neck tat? Can we get him a neck tat?
There's got to be some kind of equal attachment here to however much money he gets. So if he gets 20 million per and that gets reported, then we need to put 20 teardrops going down.
Dude, just dripping all the way down.
Right, all the way down. So, which by the way, man, I had a cut on my neck down here. Mandy put a little heart-shaped bandage on it, just making fun of me. I forgot about it. If you watched the show back a couple of nights ago, I'm on here live and that damn thing's still there, and I had to pull it off. Mike with the super chat. Thank you, Mike. He says 12 got that Tay money.
That's a good
got the Tay money. What's that mean?
12 got
Tay money. After they lowballed Tay and he left, we were able to keep it around.
That's a very good point. See, that's the other thing too. See, we're going way long now. That whole Aaron Rodgers thing, we've seen this song and dance before. Like with Aaron, you drug it out. They were at odds with Brian Gutekunst, right? And then at the end of the day, they still paid Aaron. So you pissed him off, stripped everything down, paid him a ton of guaranteed money to where we had to eat a huge dead cap, and then end up trading him anyway. It's like that's kind of how it feels with LaFleur. Is like if you want him, great. If you wanted Aaron, great. If you didn't, move on. You know, like let's keep this train rolling. It ain't the end of the world. Players come and go. It is what it is. But to kind of ride the fence in the middle, man, that's rough. That's really rough. So anyway, you guys got anything else? Anything else y'all want to hit on or no?
Oh, it's a good show, man. I can't wait. Probably tomorrow, right? We'll get something. Be going live, and
I hope this doesn't go through into the weekend, guys.
Yeah.
I hope we get
Somebody said, what if it's a Friday dump? Because that happens. If you guys don't know, like in the news media, they'll wait till the end of the day Friday, dump some news. We ain't got to talk about it till Monday, right? Sometimes that happens. And I think it was Wildy that was talking about it. It was like, well, would that be positive or negative? It's a great question, but I think it would be. I could see the team doing that because this does look bad. Like, let's get it done. It should have been done sooner. Do it right at the Friday dump, and then, all right, we'll just kind of everything will fizzle out by the time we get back Monday type thing. I don't know. So,
well, yeah, because then you got games this weekend, right? I mean, you pay them, you get it over with. Whatever happens this weekend in the games, they're going to be talking about it more than anything else, and then
it covers it up. Yeah, that's a great point. Yep. Yeah. Last one, Romero Hill says, question: do y'all think both Matt LaFleur and Hafley both choked? I don't think either of them choked, Romero. Here's the thing that nobody's talking about, and I know I'm an extreme minority here. We're talking about how bad they played in the second half, and nobody's talking about how great they played in the first half. It goes both ways. They played unbelievable. They coached unbelievable in the first half. Well, what happened in the second half? I bet y'all can't guess what my answer is. What happens in clutch moments, right? What would you rather have, a rookie player or a veteran player in a clutch moment? I'm wanting the veteran player who's been there. They're not going to be as nervous. They're not going to choke. So for me, the youth of the roster, losing Edger and Cooper in the second half, made the defense kind of fall apart. You're literally out there at your most important positions. Interior defensive line, you're talking about, what was it, a fourth rounder? Not even a fourth rounder. I think it was a couple fifth or sixth rounders, right? That was playing your defensive tackle position. Yeah. Right.
No, I think it came down to execution. You executed in the first half. You didn't completely execute in the second half. There was that one third down where we should have rallied and tackled him, and he gets Monangai got like a 20-yard game. It's just it didn't tackle. It's like those little things, right? And at some point, what can a coach do on the sideline or in the booth?
And that points to Clay's point, right, about the youth. Yeah. Let's be honest. That's the first time the Packers didn't play 60 minutes of football. I mean, we can go look down the schedule. There were plenty of games that this team decided to play 2 or 3 quarters and, let games get away from them,
Mm-hmm.
Right. I love what Coach Lynn says. Line pooped to bed. That's pretty accurate statement there too, Coach. Pack Attack with Super Chat. Thank you. Says, give LaFleur one more year, then decide. Here's the problem with that, Pack Attack. I'm not rolling it out. I'm not saying never, but never, right? Like, it could happen. I wouldn't rule anything out at this point. They may give him just a 1-year extension. But to me, if I'm Matt LaFleur and I'm in Matt LaFleur's camp, and I think everybody probably agrees, a 1 year equals no years. Like, if you're not willing to give me security, I can go get it on the market. Nope, not accepting that. I've already got a 1 year. He's already under contract next year. So what you're saying is, we want you at the price we already had you at 1 year. We're going to give you 1 more year after that. Why would he do that when other teams are willing to pay him $100 million? Right. That just doesn't make sense.
It's just like the conversation we had with Tay Adams, right? It was the same scenario. They wanted
it really is.
Down the road, and he said, "Nah, I'm okay."
Yep. And that's the other thing too. The players are looking at this too, going, "Are they really not confident in our coach? But they want us to go out there and listen to them." That's the other message that's being sent, whether we like it or not. And Pack Attack. I'm not saying that's not a good idea, man. From a fan standpoint, and the front office standpoint, that would be great.
Yeah,
they can prove it. Unfortunately, that's just not how the business works, right?
You know what Matt's going to say? Matt's probably in there like,
scared money don't make money.
It's funny, too. That got quoted a lot today on Twitter, and I laughed. I'm like, it's true. It's true. That's probably his mindset, too. Well, you afraid to pay me? Let me leave, Yep. And I'm of the opinion, I'm just stubborn enough and got just enough of a, I don't know what the right word is, I guess temper, that I'm to the point where when it gets to stuff like this, it's like, you know what? Heck with it. Let him leave. Go. All right, cool. That's what this portion of the fan base wants. That's what Ed Policy wants. Cool. Let him leave. Put your money where your mouth is, Ed. You don't think he's worth it? You can do better without him. Let him leave, and let's prove him wrong, right? Problem is, I don't think Ed believes he can prove him wrong. That's what it feels like anyway. So I try to run everything through a business filter, and I'm looking at this. If I was in Ed Policy's shoes, I would have to ask myself, is he the guy or is he not the guy? It's that simple. Right? If he's the guy, pay him the market value. If you'd done that 5 days ago, you'd have got him cheaper. Now the money is amped up just like the Jordan Love situation. If he's not the guy, all right, Matt, we respect you too much to drag this on. We don't think you're the guy. We're going to shop you around for draft picks, and we would love to get your say. If we get equal value in a place that you want to go and there's not somebody else outbidding that, we'll send you there, right? Anywhere other than the North, and go get draft picks. I respect people doing business like that, but this lowballing, you can't make business sense out of lowballing something like this. You just can't, because it affects the entire organization all the way down through the locker room. And now you've got the team leaders. You just paid Jordan Love how much money? You just paid Micah Parsons how much money? And they're both going, what are we doing? Jordan's going, yeah, Matt's the guy that I want to play. He's the guy for the job. Micah Parsons said, that guy's one of the reasons why I came here, right? That's just a bad look all the way around. And what are you going to do, cut those guys? Yeah, you can do that. You're going to have about 100.
You're going to get your ass kicked in that.
You're good at that too. You're going to have about 160 million in dead cap attached. Good luck building the team next year. It's not possible. It's just not possible. So, yeah, gonna be interesting, man. The ed policy era has began. We may look back on this and go, boy, he knew what he was doing. He played this fiddle perfect. That may happen. There's also a chance we look back and go, oh no, probably not the guy that should have took over. I'm excited to walk through it all with you guys as it all unfolds. It's going to be an absolute blast. Last one, dead fish. Matt LaFleur's 46. We give him a 5-year, $100 million contract. When he's 51 and that money is in the bank, how is he going to spend it? I know this, my wife could find a way to spend that money.
He could sponsor a podcast if he wants,
There you go.
There you go. That's right. Sponsor the show. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Man, his money.
Appreciate everybody jumping in there. Do us a big favor. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Click the bell icon. Thank you all so much for the super chats. Everybody, Kenny Rogers coming in here gifting memberships. Packer Doug. We got Kenny Rogers again with the super. Mike the super fan. We got Solder. Other Mike Z in the house. Solder again. We got Hector coming in here. And Pack Attack. Mike again. Joe Trev. Thank y'all so much.
That one just hit, Clay. Just got to read that one.
Oh, did it really? All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Ike Turner with the super chat. Joe Trev says, man, this is not even a discussion. The way Matt handled the transition from Rodgers to Love, that's enough for me. Matt just need to upgrade the staff. Again, completely agree, Joe. Matt's not completely innocent either, right? He's done things wrong too, I'm sure. I agree, though, man. The transition was worth its weight in gold, as someone said earlier. I got Lincoln smacking the door. He's ready to come in, so we got to wrap this up. Thank you so much, Joe Trev. Thanks, everybody. Emilio, Tim, appreciate y'all's time. Yes. We will be back tomorrow. Y'all hear him over here beating on the door. Yeah. Keep the bell icon clicked, and anything breaks tomorrow, any little bit of news, I'll go live randomly throughout the day, and we'll cover it. So appreciate everybody. This is PTA. My name's Clayton. Go Pack Go.
Here we go. We're out. Bye, guys.